Hey everybody, we are back with another video. Probably a shorter one today, but I thought I would show you, a little bit of a tidy up job, I guess. So yeah, let's crack into it. So one of the jobs I've been meaning to do for a while now is the coil pack cover, I guess, which is this part that goes in the center there between the two cams. Basically, during an issue I had, I was receiving a bit of a misfire at some point and I wasn't sure if it was a coil pack or injectors. Turns out to be an injector, hence why unfortunately another thing I need to sort out is the plenum. Definitely need to repaint that or do something with it because it looks terrible, but that's because the petrol kind of ate that away. Yeah, so one of the other things is I replaced the OEM coil packs with R33 coil packs. Unfortunately, as part of that, the wiring I found at the back here, the wiring just doesn't flow quite right. It kind of sits down and under straight out the back. Now, I think that's to get rid of the coil pack cover, I believe, but I kind of liked it to begin with because it kind of looked a little bit race car-ish. But now I've decided it's not for me. I think I would like to recover that. I just want to add, as well as the coil packs replaced, it also gets rid of the, I believe it's called the igniter, that kind of square brick. So yeah, unfortunately, as I put the cover in, it won't sit flush at the back because of this part. I've had a look to see if I can somehow route it around, but because of the way it's done with this braiding, I really can't see how I can get the plug to kind of marry up around there, just because all the cables are so tight on it. So I think they do need to sit at the back here like this. But what that means is the rear of this, where the igniter sits, kind of the cables are coming out at the back here between those two rear holes, which obviously doesn't work. Need to figure out a way to get through there. So what I was thinking was just cutting a slot straight out the back there, really. Not sure if that's a good idea or not. It would be nice if I could have just kept it how it is. I will have another look just to double check I'm right in what I'm saying, but I'm pretty sure I am. I've looked already. So I need to figure out a way. Probably I'll end up putting a bit of a cut into this, pass the cables through, and we'll go from there. So let's see what we've got. So I've disconnected these plugs off the back here. One of the other things you need to do is remove, or at least semi-release, this center breather pipe so you can actually lay the cover in there, which is sometimes easier said than done. There we go. I'll just release this side as well. Then it allows me to pivot it upwards out of the way. So we will lay our cover in there just so we can see kind of how the plugs fall and what position we think we'll end up having to make a hole. So this kind of sits well like this, but when I pull these plugs through, there literally is not enough length on them. See, there isn't enough length on them to actually get them all the way out here. It just isn't possible. So we definitely need to, I think, just put a slice in there. I need to figure out how I'm going to get a hole into the back piece here. I think about here where my finger is. If I cut a hole here, then the cables can come out of there and then straight off this back piece. Probably a hole saw and then a bit of filing would be good. So let's have a look, see what we can do. So I've done quite a good job, I think. I've cut out a oblong here, both sides, polished up so it's got no sharp edges, nice and smooth. So I'm hoping the cables will now come out of here and straight back. So let's have a look, see how it looks. We will offer it up. Well, there's one cable through, the other cable is through. So let's see, how does that sit now? That sits quite well, I think. I just need to play with the cable underneath there It's getting a little bit stuck in the way. Right, need to pull it forwards like this. That is exactly how it needs to be. These cables now sneak out the back. So let's see how that looks. Yeah, that looks perfect. So we'll get some bolts in there, I guess. So these bolts I have here are dress-up bolts. So they're from Club R33 and they are titanium, black titanium. So that's all the cover bolts in this part. We will connect up the plugs now. Seems like a pretty good time to do that. There's one, and where's that other cable hiding? Ah, here. So the bolts are all in this section. So at the back you can see here, it leaves a bit of a gap not having that igniter in there. So I've got a cover to go in the back. Nice anodized with the laser etched Nismo, old Nismo logo. Has the channel there for the cable to run through. So let's pop that in there and see how it looks. So here is the finished article. We have the cover all on now, and we have the dress up plate at the back here. Looking pretty good. It doesn't sit quite square. As you can see, the left side has a little bit of a gap. That's because there's a ring crimp that has to be earthed there. I'll perhaps look at moving that at some point to get rid of that, so it kind of looks a little bit better being square. But for the most part, I think that looks real good. I'm really pleased with that blanking plate at the back there. Just finishes off the engine, stops that gap being there. So yeah, let's get that breather pipe on and let's have a look how it sits then. It's now fitted, just tucked there behind that breather pipe. It's one of those parts that you don't really see when you're stood here like this, but I think it's the finishing touches that always make the things, always kind of make the build complete. So I think that's just a cool, nice little finishing touch there to be hidden back there. So it's a bit of a shorter episode than normal, but the weather hasn't been great recently. It's still quite wet out there, so I don't think I'm going to be doing any driving anytime soon. So I thought I'd just do a job that I've been wanting to do for a while now. It's turned out really good, really happy with it. Like I said, I just need to relocate that ring crimp somewhere a little bit different so it kind of sits more square on the top there. But other than that, I'm really pleased with how it looks. I think it looks really cool. So yeah, that's another job ticked off the list. So thank you for watching, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.